Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Marina. I'm a certified lash tech based in Toronto, Canada, and I like making lashing videos. Before I start any of my videos, I'd like to just put it out there that everything that I'm sharing with you guys is completely subjective to like the techniques and methods that I like to do. In no way, shape, or form am I saying this is the only way to do lash extensions or the only way you should be doing lash extensions, because people have different techniques for everything. So I encourage everybody to go out there, continuously learn from different people and read articles, but I'm here to provide an avenue of learning so that in some way I can help you guys. So getting into this set today, we are doing a wet lash look / mascara look, and this look is very trendy. I actually made a video on this a long time ago, but you will find this as a pattern on my channel that even though a lot of the videos may look the same, I'm always trying to update it because I'm always kind of changing my techniques as well. So this is why I'm doing an updated wet lash mascara looks, and I'm going to be sharing with you guys a few of the tips that I kind of learned along the way that's really helped me with achieving this set and making it look really much like a wet set or like a mascara look, you know? So the first tip that I would like to share with you guys is when you are going to be pulling the spike off of that strip or the lash tray. Now, what you would want to do or focus on is to really focus on where you are grabbing the spike. So you don't want to grab it from the bottom, because obviously if you do, you're gonna get a little bit of a fan that's gonna be coming up at the top, and then you know, you're now gonna have a kind of open spike, and that's okay if, you know, your client is okay with that. But I mean, most people who come for the wet lash look want that really spiky look, right? So I always try to focus on being able to grab from the mid, like a little bit above the middle. Yeah, sorry, a little bit above the middle or at the very top. And this way you won't have any problems with the fan opening up too much and not creating that nice spikiness. And then my second little tip for you guys is to use primer. So I actually did make a video on this a while back. It's 3 ways to make lash spikes, and you are more than welcome to go look that up. It is on my channel, and I go kind of more in depth with how to make spikes and different ways that you can make spikes. But for the purposes of this video, I'm just going to tell you like kind of briefly that I use primer basically to make all my lashes stick together that's on the actual lash tray. So even before I like pick up any spikes, I'm using the primer while the lashes are on the lash tray and that strip. And I use a disposable lip gloss applicator, and I put a little bit of primer on that, and then I just kind of go through the lashes to make them all stick together and get them wet, and then I pull off of the strip using that method. And why I use this method is because it actually helps me grab the spikes without them falling apart as easily, because they are basically wet from the primer solution. And when I do this, I can kind of 1, increase my time, and 2, get a spikier look that I really try to achieve when I'm doing this type of style. And what happens is that it just becomes so pointy that even if you were to drop your spike, it won't fall apart. And if you don't put primer on there, that's totally fine too, but you have less control. So if you do drop your spike, it's gonna fall apart and you're gonna have to go ahead and make another spike. So in terms of timeliness, I would really recommend using the primer method. It is very helpful, and I personally like it, and it really adds to the whole wet lash look. And so for my third tip I want to share with you guys is the way you're going to apply these spikes. And honestly guys, you're simply gonna apply these just like classic lashes. You guys will maybe want to focus on directional placement, whatever it may be. They are just closed fans, so you're gonna go ahead and apply them. However, the one thing that I want to kind of emphasize when you're applying these spikes is to make sure that the base is still getting wrapped around at that bottom. So although you are applying them like classic lashes, they are not classic lashes, they are still fans. So that base can open up, meaning that you can get ultimate retention even with just applying spikes. And this is the reason I love spikes. One, they're super easy to apply, and then at the same time the retention is crazy. So the wet lash look definitely has like a very high retention set. It definitely takes maybe around like 3 weeks for my girls to come back for a refill, and there's still a lot of lashes left, because it's so easy to, like, it's fast to pull off of the strip, dip into the glue, and then bam, you apply it to the lash and the base is gonna wrap around. So just do the little wiggle method, and I've made a few videos on lash wrapping too, so if you guys want to take a look at that. I do close-ups to show you guys how to really achieve the wraparound, because that's how I get my best retention. So please keep that in mind and try to apply those methods when you're doing your sets. Sorry for the hesitation there, I kind of had a brain fart. And also another little tip that I would like to share with you guys is to make the to use the primer at the end of your set as well. So what ends up happening is that when you are applying spikes, sometimes, especially when you're trying to get that wrap around the natural lash, the tip of the lash extension can start to open up a little bit. And that's just natural, because obviously, like, if you're gonna be wiggling a natural lash into the base of a spike, it's gonna happen. It's gonna open up. Not all of them will open up as much as other ones, but I've noticed it's for me that can happen sometimes. And when you're finished your set, if you have a few of those little spikes that are opening up, it's gonna look a little fluffy, and you want to really stray away from any fluffiness of this set, which is funny because usually that's what you're trying to achieve. But because you want that wet look, you really want to hone down on making sure it looks like that. So by doing so at the very end, you're kind of like adding your finishing touches, if that makes sense. And so something that I also like to tell my clients is that with a wet lash look and a mascara look, so this one I feel like looks more like a wet lash look, I try to make it look not as organized as I would with a mascara look. And even though mascara looks or like mascara lashes, when people are putting on mascara on their eyelashes, they look kind of clumpy and stuff, it could emulate that 100%. But for me, usually with mascara, I try to make it look more organized for some reason, and I usually use some classic lashes, so it's more of like a hybrid set. With the wet lash look, I really try to like make it look like what it looks like when you get your lashes wet. So if you have extensions and you've been in the water before and you come out and they're all kind of sticking together, but they're a little bit disorganized, if that makes sense, that's that look that I'm looking for. So when I'm applying them, I kind of use directional placement to make certain spikes kind of not stick together, but at the tips at the very top, they kind of collide in making kind of a triangle formation. So then you get all these different types of textures and thickness in your spikes within your set, and that really allows you to achieve that look. And that's something that I try to keep in mind all the time when I'm doing these sets, because it is called a wet lash look, and when it's super organized, it doesn't really give me that. It just gives me closed fans in a really organized manner. So obviously it's up to your client, because everybody likes things a different way, but this is just something that I like to focus on, and why girls like my wet lash sets, because this is what I've been told. But yeah, like, again, just communicate with your clients, and I'm sure you guys will be fine with picking out what may work for you and what might not work for you. One thing to also keep in mind is that you don't want to put too much primer onto the lashes. I mean, I've done that before, and sometimes I find that it affects the quality of my glue, or like how my glue is drying, which makes sense because I'm adding like pretty much a lot of like primer onto the extensions. And so when I've done that, it's a little finicky. So don't use too much. You want to apply them just so that they're adhering and sticking together, so they're looking like little strips on, or little spikes on your strip when you're picking them up. And yeah, I guess that's like about it. There's not too much else that I could kind of tell you guys, but this is a cat eye look, so obviously the longest ends are at the very end of the eye or the outer corners. If it was a doll eye, you want to go and just do the middle to be the longest. But I really liked how this set turned out. Looked super wet and was very, very proud actually, and my client was extremely happy as well. So I was really happy. I don't know, I was just like really, really satisfied with the end of this set. Also, you know, she was telling, so this client actually went to a different lash tech before me, got a wet lash look, and she told me it fell out within a week. And I don't understand how that could happen because, like I said before, the retention is pretty high with this set. So she hasn't complained at all yet, and I'm pretty sure they've been sticking really well. So don't pre-make your spikes. I know a lot of lash techs have said before that you can pre-make your spikes. I see people doing it all the time before their client comes. Even with fans, people pre-make their fans. I just don't recommend it because once that glue cures, you can't get the wraparound, and thus the retention isn't that great. But again, if you're a beginner, honestly, go ahead, maybe add a few spikes or make a few spikes before your client comes just to practice, and then use those so you don't waste any materials inside of your set. But that's just something to keep in mind. And if you guys want to see the last bit of, or not the last bit, but the final look, please stay tuned at the very end. I always do kind of a slow-mo of the look. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I post every Sunday around 6:15, and if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you guys have any questions or comments, please leave a comment down below, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for watching, and I appreciate all of you guys and love you guys so much. Bye.
Just to know that it was you. I'm tired of running. I'm tired of running. I'm tired of running from the things that we knew. Had to lose it all just to know that it was you.
Hold up, tell me what the hold up is. I'm a little spoiled, I'll be the first to admit it. I'm not used to laying low about my feelings. Tell the world or write a book when I'm finished. I should thank your mama, yeah. Look at what she made. Sweating you so badly. I'm in summer with no rain. Yeah, I want it, want it, want it, want it more than I want to. I want it, want it, want it, want it. Tell me what I'm supposed to do. You got me on my knees begging, pleading, praying I'll be receiving everything I want from you. Yeah, I want it, don't you know I want it more than I want to. You won't catch me interested, I'm way too selective, but you're catching my interest and it's working so effective. Got me seeing colors Picasso couldn't paint. You pull me deep and rapture me, leave me no restraint, and I should